Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 9. What happened and what's going on? I'm your host Clio, and with me I have John.
I don't know.
And Dom.
Hi! This was a very happy... I'm kidding.
Such a happy episode.
It was not at all.
Guys, we lost Tyrese.
We did, but the part that I was happy about was we get to see so many people that we lost again.
Yes. No,
That was nice.
that was really special.
Yeah. I mean...
Except for fucking baseball cap guy. I don't like him.
The biggest smile creeped across my face when the governor was on the TV. I can't even begin to tell you.
No, I was smiling at the girls.
They were adorable, and it was good to see that they were still willing to include them, even though the younger one clearly grew up a lot more since that episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's only been 8 months, maybe?
Since it aired, but since
Yeah.
they filmed it, probably
True.
over a
Probably
year.
like 9 months. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really nice to get the girls to come back. I was super confused at the beginning of the episode when we saw the girls and they're like bleeding over the picture, and I'm like, what is going on right now?
Because at first I thought it was all something to do with Noah, because I actually thought Noah had a twin brother, and that's what those pictures were. But he had two brothers who were twins.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going on too.
Yeah. And like, so all that stuff sort of makes sense. I was like, okay, so maybe all this has to do with Noah, and then it showed the two girls, and I was like, Noah never met them. This no longer makes sense.
Nope.
So why do you think they did that whole 8mm home film look? Is that just, your life flashing before your eyes kind of thing?
I think so. I mean, and I think, just from a, an artistic standpoint, they really wanted to give Tyrese the end that he deserved.
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, he's a character who deserved a whole episode devoted to him leaving, And it was a good excuse to, bring Beth back for 5 minutes so everyone can shut the fuck up. She's not coming back to life, Internet. I'm sorry. She's not.
She's certainly not. I wonder how long they actually had planned that, or if that was kind of like a fan gratification to the backlash.
It could be.
If they wrote it in real quick. But to dedicate an entire filler episode, I have to think that... it's not that it was a filler episode, because I hate that term, but... Because we especially in some of our other shows, we use that way too loosely. But
Well, in some of the other shows we do, it's warranted.
Right. However, this one itself, other than what had happened to Tyrese, barely progressed the overall plot story. But it didn't need to, because what it was focusing on was very pertinent to everything that was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll spend more time right now talking about Tyrese, but there is a lot that we learn is going on in the heads of the other characters.
Yeah. And I find it... They mentioned on Talking Dead, I found it really interesting that this was like the first time that we had seen like what goes through the mind of someone that's dying, and how that all played out. Yeah,
and I know it was what was happening to Tyrese's head. He was hallucinating but to me it was sort of like, is this kind of like, hey, here's some hope that there's an afterlife and that everything is really okay?
It was blood loss. There's,
significant blood loss.
Significant blood loss.
But
I think it was just him hallucinating at that point, because we didn't really see this continue on after he was dead.
No, that's true.
Mm.
So
And it was
I don't know,
really just...
To me, it's like he's dying and he's seeing those who have already died. It's sort of...
They're also symbolic of parts of his personality.
Oh, of course. Of course.
And, like, just parts of his life that we know of.
I want to believe they're all living happily in a nice field with no zombies.
Yeah,
no
they're all
flowers,
getting along with the governor.
He's not evil anymore?
He's making dumplings.
He's not evil anymore. The last thing in his dying breath he did was lop off Herschel's head.
Yeah. Well, he did that before he died.
Seconds before he died.
More than seconds. Anyway.
Like 463 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, you showed me.
I'm pretty sure he was not redeemed. And I'm pretty sure the girls aren't happy with him just sitting there.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, it's fine. Shut up. I want to believe they're all having a barbecue in heaven.
They're eating Bob's other leg. What?
Yeah, I mean,
No,
why do you think
gross,
Herschel
son.
wasn't there?
Huh?
Why do you think Herschel wasn't there?
That is a good question. I thought about that. It's possible. I mean, I don't know.
Well, my thing is he kind of took Herschel's place a little bit after Herschel passed. You know, like he kind of
moral
became
compass.
He became the new moral compass. Also, guy with a target on his back.
Yeah, because we all know how that moral compass target works
They
out.
just. So I feel like, and honestly, I don't know how connected he was to Herschel. You know.
Yeah, that's very true. Because
I don't-
as Clio said, they're very significant people in his life, and I don't remember him and Herschel having much of a bond.
Right, and they didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, they spoke, but not like in a real way.
Yeah.
Because by the time, you know, him and Herschel interacting, he was kind of going crazy over his girlfriend being killed. So, I guess that kind of maybe they never really got to have a real good relationship.
I don't remember him having an exceptionally big relationship with Beth, though.
No, but she was also fresh on their minds because that was apparently like only a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And
so
Tyrese has guilt over Beth because it was his plan.
Right.
Yeah, that's
to do
true.
The trade, which not that the trade resulted in Beth's death, but it was at the same time as the trade. So he has a lot of guilt over seeing Beth die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the bad guys, it seemed, had a lot more to say to Tyrese than the good guys. The good guys kind of kept repeating the same lines over and over. Except for Bob. Bob had a couple things he said, but the girls just repeated the same lines over and over.
I'm actually happy to see Bob again.
Bob backwards?
Bob backwards. I thought he was gone. I never thought I'd see him again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why they kept repeating the same lines over and over. I don't have a single clue.
I think it's mostly because they were his good nature, like the good natured side of him, and then like the governor and I'm just gonna call him Buckwheat because I don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't care to know his name.
I don't actually. I don't actually give a shit. So Buckwheat over there, like they were. I think they were his like emotional hang-ups, and that's why they probably made more noise in his head, because those were the things that were really kind of torturing him on the inside.
The devil usually has a lot more to say than God does.
Yeah, you get a hurricane out of the G-Man, so.
It's true.
Tidal waves, you know.
Yeah. There's a lot of mentions of debt paying and bills to be paid. That's very much, and it was a lot of it was said. I mean, it was not only said by the governor, but also his father had said, you know, this is the price that we have to pay to live in this world. We need to listen. So do you think that paying the debt is, like, what does that really mean to Tyrese as he's dying?
It could be that he's almost, I think it's kind of, he's almost paying for his good nature in a strange way, because, you know, he kind of swore off killing after the last season, I guess. You know, but really, once they left the prison, I don't think he really did much killing of anyone, especially after he forgave Carol. And that whole arc resolved itself. So maybe it's just that he had to kind of, I mean, really, in this kind of show, you know, these good-natured pacifist kind of characters, they're not gonna last. So I feel like maybe that was his debt. Like, this is your, yes, you kept your nature, but this is maybe what happens as a result of you not wanting to kill.
He kind of even passed the torch on to, I'm sorry, I don't know the new guy's name yet.
Noah.
Yeah, he kind of passed that torch on to Noah, and Noah was on, like, the brink of death, and was, like, you know, just crying, not, you know, not on the brink of death, but, like, he wanted
ready
to
die. Give up.
Yeah. And Tyrese pulled him back, like, in his last-ditch final attempt effort, pulled him back, and I think Tyrese's death is going to propel him forward even more. Instead of having him sit there and be sorry about it and be like, this is my fault, I'm the one that wanted to go back into the house, and I'm the reason why he's dead, I think he's really going to take what Tyrese said to him and kind of use that as fuel to live.
No doubt, but I think he's still going to struggle with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Not that it's going to stop him from doing anything, but that
that
guilt is going to weigh him down as he moves forward.
Yep.
Just like it did for Tyrese with Beth. I mean, you know, they were saying in the car, it's like that was a good move. It was, you know, it wasn't your fault.
Yeah. And
but clearly, since he saw Beth when he was dying, he still thought it was his fault.
I mean, I was really shocked at Noah, too. Like, he goes into the house and, you know, he sees his, what could be assumed to be his wife or his aunt or something, and he covered her up. His mom? Was it his mom? His mom
and his 2 twin brothers.
Okay, and, like, he covered her over with the thing, but he didn't even hesitate to stab his little brother in the eye with an airplane.
Got enough 10 to the face.
Yeah.
So
that was interesting.
You saw after he was upset about it, but he did what had to be done.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen a bunch of different ways people react to loved ones being walkers, from Herschel to, Shane, but you either recognize them as no longer your family, or you don't, and he really saw it wasn't his brother anymore. I mean, the more decayed they get, the easier it is to see.
Yeah.
Since it was probably over a year since that community burned down. Yeah. Let's actually talk about that. I was looking at the buildings, the way that the bodies were all over the grounds, and it was just something really specific about what had happened there.
Well, did you notice all the bodies that were on the outside of the town, on the outskirts of it?
Yeah.
Had no upper halves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was
just all legs.
The upper halves were all in that truck.
Yep.
And when they fell out of the truck, you could see they were branded on the foreheads with W's.
Mm-hmm.
So something really specific and sadistic happened to that town.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling that's going to be this next arc.
I mean, because especially the town itself does not look like it just got random houses got set on fire. It looks like blasts, like grenades went off,
right?
Or, something along those lines. Because even the way the wall was destroyed,
it's like a tank hit it.
Yeah, it looked like a tank ran it over.
Yeah. That's actually, I did not think of that, because I saw the burn holes in the roofs, and I'm like, if there was a fire, it would have burnt the house. It wouldn't have just burnt a hole in the roof. So grenades or missiles actually makes a lot more sense to me now.
Yeah, I think if it was missiles, the house would be a little more destroyed.
A little more gone.
I guess
mean, grenades too, but maybe it was
some kind of
a low-powered explosion of some sort.
Or even just like a Molotov. It wouldn't, the fire probably wouldn't last that long.
Yeah.
You know.
Because there were definitely singe marks, but...
But it wasn't like that. The house was half burnt or like...
Right.
Because if you set fire to a house, it would all catch. And not necessarily that it would all burn, but it wouldn't look like... It wouldn't just have holes in the roof.
Yeah.
There was a house that just had two burn marks through the roof. And it was like, I was watching, I was like, that's not right. It didn't just catch fire.
That's incorrect.
That is incorrect. So yeah, whoever these people are, whatever the W means, it's not good.
I think we'll have our next villain soon.
Yeah. Do you think it has something to do with, what's his face out in the woods tracking something?
Morgan?
Morgan, yeah.
Maybe.
Morgan could be tracking these people down.
Maybe.
I
But...
suppose.
Because, I mean, he's right on their tails, of the survivors. Because the last we saw him was the end of last episode, right? Just before the finale, he was in the church. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's right on their tails, so they just left.
Try to figure out what the W could mean. We saw a lot of Woodbury from...
Yeah, Woodbury. Could be for walkers.
It's true. But as we've seen, every group has called them something different. So Rick's crew calls them walkers, but I feel like everybody's got something different that they call the zombies. But I was trying to think who from Woodbury survived or is still alive. That's not this group, obviously, because Tyrese and Sasha were from Woodbury, technically.
I don't think there's anyone left.
There might not be anybody. I don't know. But obviously we just saw Woodbury because... Oh! Wolves!
Wolverines?
I noticed that, but then I forgot it while I was watching the episode. There's a spray painting that says, "Wolves not far."
Right.
So maybe it's calling themselves the Wolves.
Maybe they were W's and not M's. I don't know.
Yeah, no, they were W's.
Oh, they were W's. Okay.
They were W's.
There's a screenshot right there.
Oh, beautiful.
Wolves not far.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I saw that, but I guess it was forced out of my brain by other traumatic things in this episode.
The horror.
The horror. Really just sadness because, Tyrese is awesome.
Yep.
He's like everybody's big teddy bear brother.
So the wolves could be that second group. They could be somebody running around doing, they could be the people who chop the walkers off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
I think that's a good theory for now, but we have literally almost no information. Besides they might have
much to go on.
Yeah, besides they might have military weapons and shit, and that they're doing weird things to their walkers.
Yeah. I know the town that they were all living in was Shirewilt, and in the comics it was Wiltshire. They inverted the names. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But from what I was reading and stuff, it's straight up out of the comics. It's like almost identical.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's probably the direction that we're heading. But so we get a lot of kind of character. I guess you could call it development. It's Rick Michonne and Glenn were sort of off on their own while Tyrese and Noah were inspecting stuff. But I feel like there's a really interesting dynamic going on between the three of them. Like, Glenn is becoming pessimistic. Like, he's losing whatever made him stop and free those people from the container when they were at Terminus.
He's kind of lost some of that, I guess, naive. I don't want to say naive, but I mean, I guess a little bit. That kind of like, no, he needs to be helped. Everyone needs to be helped.
Yeah.
You know, he's losing that innocence about him.
Mm-hmm.
Since Beth died, I think.
Yes, definitely Beth. And Michonne, I mean, we've seen massive growth from Michonne, like almost nonstop. Since the prison, since we learned all that stuff about her past and that she had a baby that she lost. So she's been on just like a roller coaster of character development. But she seems to be to really want to find a place like the prison again, to settle, to stop. She doesn't want to run anymore.
Yeah, she was very adamant of chopping those trees down. She wanted to build up a fort, and then when she walked over and saw all those walkers, and she's just like, I'm not even gonna try to argue this anymore. You're right, let's move on.
Yeah. I mean, she was definitely grasping at straws for that, and Rick, I'm glad to see your level-headed Rick again. It's nice.
It is, even the part with Rick explaining the whole situation, how Beth went down and how he was angry. He understands it was an accident and she didn't mean to kill Beth, and how it still like enraged him and he still wanted to do something about it. But he understands, you know, that it was an accident. Before, you remember like 2 seasons ago, Rick? He wouldn't have hesitated. He would have popped her right in the head. He would have, you know, it would have been bad.
And then 2 seasons before that, where he was like still the sheriff.
He would have not only killed her, he would have killed every single person in the hospital.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, so
it would have been a massacre.
Crazy Rick, yeah.
You get the
sometimes kind of miss Crazy Rick, but I'm very glad we have a more level-headed Rick right now.
It's better than Farmer Rick.
I liked Farmer Rick because he could have been a farmer and a, you know, whatever else.
Oh man.
He couldn't just be a farmer. I think the reason he didn't work out as a farmer is because he was trying to be only a farmer.
I mean,
it's
probably only because in this post-apocalyptic world, he doesn't have Facebook to play Farmville, so he had to just like, you know, get that out of his system.
Is that still a thing? Do people still play Farmville?
I don't know.
Do they? I don't know. I hope not.
I'm gonna have to look and see if there's an app on the phone.
Goddamn. Anyway. Yeah, so it seemed the dynamic between the three of them this episode was like Michonne's on one end, Glenn's on the other, and Rick is in the middle. Rick is like, come on, guys.
There's a Farmville 2, apparently.
Let's focus up.
Rick. I mean, you know, and it was really interesting because he was just like, what are you, like, no, we can't stay here. Like, she's like, no, come on. It'll be fine. He's like, there's trees, man. Trees can't be trusted. Like he was just very, I don't know. That's not I may be paraphrasing a little bit, but like it was weird just to see Michonne like that. It was really jarring for me because she was just so off her balance. But like it makes sense considering, you know, when she was separated. I don't even know when that was. When she was alone again, and she had to like cover herself and walk her guts and all that crap. That you know that probably
for guts.
Yeah. So I think from there, she's been sick of all the wandering and just...
Yeah. That was when the prison fell.
That's when okay.
And everyone scattered. She found herself alone and had to...
Right.
Had to make the walker buddies and cover herself and shit, so...
Yeah. Yeah,
no, definitely. And I mean, it's just been, like, constant character development for her, and I'm so... Like, I love her so much. And what I hear from how she's in the comics, I'm very glad that they're turned away from that a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, she's basically a sex fiend in the comics.
Yeah, I'm very glad she's not like that. She's to me a much more likable character like this.
Yeah, I don't like to see her as humanized as they made her. I like the kind of crazy, over-the-top, dramatic, like, badass people that we have. You know, when she was first introduced and, you know, she was just, like, this killer samurai with a sword that didn't give a shit about anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Michonne I prefer. I don't like the humanized Michonne that actually cares about things now.
I like that that's what she was, and I like that she has changed from there. Because if we just had the robotic samurai this whole time, I don't think it would be as satisfying as what we've gotten out of her.
It would be boring, I think, if she was just... Well, because even, like, her samurai self got kind of challenged when she tried to slice that walker with the rebar in his neck.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, clang, oh, well... Like,
yeah, and I mean,
she needed to be saved.
We had all of that. She lost her sword the last half of the season. She had all that wrestling with, does she really want it back? Is that really the part of her she wants to keep? So I think that's the samurai side will still be challenged this half of the season, and maybe it'll lose. Maybe she'll lose it. That side of her. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure. And the whole samurai thing, the sword, that slice that she did to Tyrese's arm, I don't think that should have come off in one clean swipe that way.
No, yeah, but for effects, there was, yeah. No, you're right, it wouldn't have.
No. No.
They would have needed to, if she had just gone all the way through, maybe, because those swords are...
Yeah, no. It was not a full swing, though. It was like...
Exactly, but the way they had to film it in the corner of that room...
Yeah, that's true.
They couldn't feasibly get the full swing.
Like a full overhead chop.
Yeah, but I think we had a lot more to think about in the moment then.
I mean, I just looked at that one quick swipe, and I was just like, that arm should not have fell off. I mean, we've seen like them hack Herschel's leg with a little axe or something like that, and it took a couple chops.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I guess she's got lots of whetstones.
Yeah. And as much as like as sad as I was while they were dragging Tyrese out of the back to the car. It was just like, it was a little humorous how, like, Noah couldn't hold him up and all like that.
He's like, you got him? Yeah, I got him. Boom.
Yeah.
Down. I mean...
He's such a big man.
I understand, like, there's a need to rush and, whatever. They didn't need to get Tyrese out the moment that they got him out. They didn't need to break open the gate the moment they did that. They already know what it's like to bleed out. Like, he literally bled to death. It wasn't the walker bite that killed him. It was he bled to death. They couldn't cauterize that wound before? Like, they have access to all these buildings. You mean to tell me there's no matches in any of these houses?
Yeah, I think the thing was that the town was still full of walkers and that they could not stop to cauterize it. And even if they had, I do not think Tyrese would have made it.
Really?
If they had cauterized the wound right there, I'm not sure.
I think he lost too much blood. I don't think he would have made it because he would have. I don't. Without medical treatment, I don't think he would have made it. Regardless,
so they chopped his arm off there, and then they ran him outside, and they didn't really do a good job wrapping the arm. They put a sheet or a blanket or something around him. It's not like they even tied the arm, so the blood was just literally falling out of his arm. You even saw, like, when he fell and the blanket came off of him, his arm was completely exposed. We saw his arm exposed, shooting blood out. He lost a lot of blood that way. Not only the blood in the house, but I think if they chopped the arm off and cauterized it immediately, I think he would have been fine.
I don't think so, because they took a long time getting back to him. We don't know exactly how long they took.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was a lot longer than Herschel.
Yeah. Because Herschel was basically immediate.
And that was his left arm, which is pretty close to the heart.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think the venom, whatever bacteria,
Walker venom.
we don't know science-wise what actually causes the fever. I think he had the fever. Go.
Probably dysentery. I'm not joking. It's
really.
actually
I really thought you had an actual answer.
No, that I mean it. It's like their mouths are just dirty. They just have. It's just anything. It doesn't matter. It's just an infection.
Yeah.
Like it's just germs, and because you don't have medicine, you can't cure the germs.
I mean, because we found out a couple seasons ago they're all infected. It's
right. It's not the zombie
the bite
virus.
Does not transfer the virus.
You already have the virus.
You, so
right.
like,
so the infection in which is in their mouth probably spreads extremely quickly.
Because there's no medicine anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you just popped up on penicillin when you got bit, you'd probably be okay. But
interesting.
That's why the hospital was probably able to save people, because they had medicine. So.
Yeah, because I literally don't think there's such a thing as Walker venom.
No. It's not a thing.
I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah, no, no, I know you didn't mean it, but
of course.
I mean, it's just like you come and think about it. It's like, what exactly is it? What about the bite? And it's got to be disease-ish.
Yeah, it's definitely some sort of.
It's some kind of disease.
Fast-acting bacteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Penicillin, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, but even if they cauterized the wound, I don't think Tyrese would have made it. As much as I want to believe that maybe if things were different, he would have made it, I don't think so.
I doubt it.
If Michonne was there in the room, they cut his arm off, they cauterized it, then maybe. But there's no way that.
I mean, he was hallucinating pretty good at that point. Like, Rick was.
And you saw he was sweating bullets in that room by himself.
Yeah, I mean
he
saw Rick as the governor, so.
Yeah.
You know.
He saw a walker as the governor. That walker that charged him, he saw it as the governor first. Right.
And, we also don't know how well they've been, like, eating and drinking since they've been traveling. So I don't know. You don't know if he was malnourished on top of that.
Yeah.
Dehydrated. You never know.
Yeah. And I mean, the last thing I want to talk about, I don't know if you guys have any extra things, but the last thing is Sasha. Because Sasha's been through the ringer.
She has. She's not going to take
lost
this
well. Everyone close to her.
In the opening scene we have, where they're digging the grave and you see Sasha, crying or whatever, we think it's Beth.
We don't. I don't think we see Sasha.
No, you see.
We see Noah and Maggie.
I thought I saw Sasha.
And then we see Rick, but that's not at the graveside.
Well, we see through the trees shot, so you can't really make anyone out at the gravesite in the beginning. We obviously see Father. Help me out here.
Gabriel.
Gabriel, thank you. Well, you can kind of see his pant legs and whatever, but you can make out that there's people standing around, but you can't tell really who's there, I don't think.
Yeah, but then the whole twist, because you think it's Beth's funeral, and the whole twist, and it's Tyrese's, and it's just, it was crazy, and you just see Sasha bawling her eyes out.
She was stunned. I don't think she was bawling. She was like staggering around like she didn't.
Who was sobbing then?
Barely.
Who am I confusing? Somebody was sobbing.
That was Maggie.
Maggie. That's okay.
Noah too.
Noah, yeah.
That's who I meant in the first. We saw Maggie in the beginning, right?
Sasha could barely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I for whatever reason I know who each character is, but I confused the two. I meant to say Maggie at the beginning when we see Maggie bawling her eyes out, and you think it's Beth's funeral, and
some good misdirection there.
It was very.
And they
good.
talked a lot about Sasha on the Talking Dead and how Sasha's not like Tyrese. But will Tyrese be enough to like his influence on her, will that be enough to like stabilize her, or will she just keep viciously stabbing people?
I don't know. Because Bob dying didn't stabilize her.
No, but she had Tyrese for that.
Her stabilizer died. I don't know. I don't know if she's going to be all right. I don't think she will.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I don't.
It's gonna be rough.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's already been rough. So, but now she literally does not have a rock at all anymore.
Mm-hmm. And I think that.
What is she gonna cozy up with Noah now? Like.
Oh, ew.
It's not. It's yeah.
Age. I guess it's not that bad of an age. But Noah just has that baby face. It's kind of.
I mean, it's no worse than when the internet thought that Beth and Daryl were gonna hook up.
I know.
Oh,
You're
that
right.
nonsense. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that
Not
was
gonna put my foot in that. Won't do it.
Yeah, no.
Because y'all know who I ship anyway. But yeah, I think Sasha's gonna. I actually don't know. It's hard to predict.
I don't think she's gonna give up.
Oh no.
I honestly think Noah is going to actually kind of be her rock, not maybe in a love kind of way, but you know, I definitely think he's gonna be her rock.
Yeah, especially since Tyrese had such an influence on him at the end. But Tyrese said it himself. Sasha's always been the stronger one of the two of them. So if anyone would make it, it'd be Sasha.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's just crazy how we go through characters so fast. You would not think that following up Beth's death, we were going to lose a character in the next episode. You know,
someone as beloved as Tyrese.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely not.
So. I mean, they really played their audience quite well.
Yeah,
they played us really well.
The last half of the season, we had nothing, and then all of a sudden, Beth is dead. It's like, whoa! And now Tyrese is dead immediately. He gets bit like, what, the 15-minute mark?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He takes a half an hour to die.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. And, it was a roller coaster. That's what it was, because it's like, he's going to make it. He's not going to make it. He's going to make it. No. Oh, wait. They got his arm. He's good. They're getting him out of there. Nope, they just dragged him out of the car.
Yeah.
And then that moment when the funeral, it's just like, oh.
It's like,
fuck.
Yeah. The hat on...
hide under the table and never come out now.
His hat on the cross is what did me, and I was just like, oh, okay. It's over.
Do you think we're going to see some of these other characters again in flashbacks or something similar to this, like this fashion, or do you think this was a one-time deal with like Beth and all them coming back?
We had visions of Lori.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not the first time the show has done that. But in this fashion, I don't think so, because they really needed to make Tyrese's exit special.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was a better way for them to do it than to have everyone there around him. So maybe, but probably not on this scale.
Or, like we got in the beginning of this season, we got a real flashback.
Yeah, that's right.
Of what happened in Terminus. So and then I think we had a flashback at some probably last season with Rick at the farm.
Of the farm and the prison
with Herschel. So I could see things like that happening, like moments we missed maybe between characters, and that would be nice. I wouldn't mind it, quite frankly. So
I'd love to see a flashback and see what happened with Shire Will.
Yeah, I think if we don't get a flashback, then we're definitely gonna have the gaps filled in for or we'll get the information to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, probably.
Because this is not the show to serve you on a silver platter exactly what happened.
No.
Well, it sometimes is. Two of my most hated episodes in the show. But
let's talk about it.
No, it's not. Next week, the episode is called Them. The group feels beaten after living life on the road, but must continue to trudge along. I can't remember the little snippet they showed at the end of the episode because I was just so sad. So
It was them not having food or water, and Maggie turned to Sasha and said, like, "Are we gonna?" I think she said, "Are we gonna make it?" or something like that, and then the preview we got in The Talking Dead was the walkers coming over like a little road bridge. And
yeah, that was really weird because they're just like standing on either side of the bridge, so they're clearly setting up some kind of trap.
I think they stuck Carl and the baby and maybe Noah on the other side of the bridge, and then they were going to route them down off to the sides and then probably kill them.
Yeah. I mean, there's an awful lot of them. I don't know exactly what they're doing, and you see Rick walking backwards and stumble into the wall like he's going to fall, so Rick's going to be put in some danger.
I agree with John. I think they're trying to lure him somewhere.
Yeah. I love the little joke that they made on The Walking Dead, though. Did you get The Talking Dead? Did you guys pick that up? And they said something about killing Rick off, and then they're like,
"Oh yeah,"
they're like, "Oh yeah, that would be the surprise final episode, whatever." So even they are though it was a joke, it's almost believed that Rick is The Walking Dead, and if Rick dies, that's the end of the show. So I feel like Rick is untouchable at this point.
I mean, I guess. Or they're throwing us off. I don't know. You can't believe writers. You can't do it. But, I mean, I had a theory, a couple seasons ago that Rick was not long for this world because he had gone too dark or whatever. But they didn't go that way. And Rick's had such a good character development since then. And
I just thought maybe of the absolute worst ending of this series is if Rick wakes back up in the hospital and none of this actually happened.
No, fuck.
That would be the worst ending of the series.
And like all the other characters were just hospital workers that he just was like randomly inserting into his coma dream.
Yep. That would be the worst ending. So
Tyrese is a nurse.
Walking Dead, if you guys are watching this, change the ending right now if that's what it is. You have time.
Yeah, you have been warned.
Stop.
Herschel's like actually a doctor and not a veterinarian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, maybe
and
maybe
Beth
there's
is the
no
one that comes in and sings
Rick.
to him every night.
Maybe there is. All right, Dom, where can the people find you?
I don't have lower thirds because I'm good at this.
Yay!
I'm really good at this. You can find me on Twitter at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM. Right there, boom.
Phenomedom.
Boom. There it is.
John.
Hello.
That. Well said. You can find me at Clio Moto, and you can find all of us
I'm gonna put it over
at
here, so you're pointing
ASOTV
over there
podcast.
for no reason.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. It's
no,
coming.
I'm leaving it over there.
It's
staying there.
Over there. And you can find all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for podcasts from some of your favorite TV shows. Jesus Christ.
This is the reckoning of the Clio Moto.
Until next week, when I probably still won't be over it. Bye-bye.
See you guys later.
Bye. Can we all cry now?
Yeah. I was like on the verge of tears at the beginning of the podcast. Like before we even started, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. What the